Namaste. Welcome to Vinyasa Flow Yoga. My name is Michelle Chua. And for today's practice, physically focusing on lateral extensions or side bends, you may want to have two blocks and a blanket, which you might use as support for your knees if your mat is not thick enough, because we're going to be on the knees quite a few times today. Let's start in any comfortable seated position. You might like to sit up on your folded blanket. So a few weeks back, we've been going through the first limb of yoga, reviewing what's called the yamas, which are practices that help us to live in harmony with the world around us. The second limb of yoga, which are called the niyamas, are practices that help us to live in harmony with our inner world, with our inner being. And there are 5 niyamas. Today I'd like to highlight the first niyama, which is saucha. Saucha is a Sanskrit word that is often translated to mean purity or cleanliness. Think about it as sort of decluttering your life, all aspects of your life, so that life and energy can flow more fluidly and in balance. So this could look like doing some spring cleaning, removing things from your space that are just taking up space without function, things that you may not have used for a long time. This can also mean physical hygiene. Taking care of our bodies, making sure our bodies are clean. I like to look at meditation as mental hygiene. Just like you brush your teeth several times a day, meditating daily can be a way of sort of decluttering our minds. And then you can also look at this in all aspects of your life. What things or situations or environments are in your life right now that are not promoting life energy flow, that are not promoting you connecting to that purest version of your innate goodness. So saucha can be looked at as a way of releasing what covers up our light. And when I say light, that is, you can look at that as your innate goodness, your essential being, who you are when you are most wholeheartedly yourself, without all the conditioning that we may have been susceptible to through our cultures or upbringings or ways that we have adopted, patterns we've adopted, like habits that do not nourish us, that do not promote our purest self, the innate goodness within us. So this could be habits like how we talk to ourselves mentally, or the narratives that we have in our minds about other people or situations. And another thing to think about in saucha and decluttering your life is forgiveness. Do you hold any grudges or resentments towards others? That is a heavy energy block to carry. So I invite you to take a moment to reflect. How is energy or life force energy flowing through the different aspects of your life right now? Is there any aspect of your life in which you could use some decluttering, some purification? And then let's start to check in with ourselves, noticing how you're feeling in your physical body right now. Remembering that as you're noticing, we're practicing mindfulness, in which we let go of judging what you notice as something you like or don't like, or something that's good or bad, positive or negative. That's irrelevant. You're just being aware. Sensing your body, sense the quality of your natural breath. Noticing how your energy feels right now. Observe your mind and your heart. What is your mental and emotional state at this moment? Now let's start to deepen the breath, filling up through the nostrils, exhaling through the lips. Breathing in a little bit slower. Breathing out a little slower. Long inhalation, allowing your whole torso to receive the breath. Feel that expansiveness. And then take your time emptying the breath, sort of cleaning house, cleaning through the breath. And try to find the very bottom of the exhalation when you've completely emptied any last bit of air from the lungs. Sense that emptiness, which invites an even fuller in-breath. Now call to mind something right now that you can offer gratitude for. You might recognize all the little things or big things that had to happen for you to be able to sit here now, beginning your practice of yoga. Allowing gratitude to awaken our hearts, to open our minds. Now set your intention or your personal prayer for today's practice. What are you creating space for today? Now moving beyond ourselves, who comes to mind as someone that you would like to offer loving kindness to and dedicate this practice to them? Together, let's join our voices in support of each other by chanting Om 3 times. Inhale a little deeper. Let's continue to slow down the breath, helping to balance your energy by practicing Ujjayi Pranayama, which means victorious breathing. So closing the lips, lengthen your in and out breaths equally, and softly constrict the back of the throat to create a very gentle and smooth whispering sound in your breathing. As you listen to the sound, you're allowing your mind to be present with your body, with this practice, and you're helping to regulate how you're moving from posture to posture by regulating the breath. So keeping that rhythm, let's take a moment in our first lateral extension of the spine or side bend. So as I mirror you, step your right foot out to the right as if your right leg is squatting, bending the knee. Straighten the left leg out to the left and then flex both feet, curl the toes towards the shins. Rooting evenly through your two sitting bones, and you could sit up on a prop if that helps to lengthen the spine. Cross your left hand to catch hold of your outer right knee, shin, or ankle, whatever you can reach. Raise the right arm as you press your pelvis down. Breathe in and lift up through the center of your spine, relaxing the shoulders down. As you breathe out, allow your right knee to drop open while you pull it with the left hand, and let your torso drop to your left side. Breathing in, press both sitting bones down, especially the right sitting bone, and lift your spine from the pelvis. Keep lengthening through the crown. Breathing out, if possible, continue to side bend a little deeper, and maybe explore spinning your chest slightly to face the sky for the last 2 breaths. Pressing through the pelvis, inhale to rise up and stretch the right leg out to its side. Bend the left knee as if the left leg is squatting and flex both feet. Cross your right hand to hold your outer left knee, shin, or ankle, and raise your left arm. Sitting up a little taller, breathe in. As you exhale, drop the left knee to the left, drop your torso to the right. As you pull the left leg with the right hand, relax the shoulders down the back. As you inhale, press both sitting bones downward, especially the left sitting bone, and lengthen the spine from your hips. As you breathe out, if available without straining, continue to side bend, and then maybe explore spinning your chest slightly to face the sky. Last couple deep breaths. Inhale to rise up, and let's make our way to stand at the front of your mat. Coming up into mountain pose. Let's get into a groove of movement connecting to breath. Start with your feet hips distance apart and parallel to each other. Join your hands in prayer at your heart center, remembering your intention or personal prayer for today's practice. And let's offer thank you to the sun, great source of energy, with sun salutation C, Surya Namaskar C. As you breathe in deeply, sweep the arms forward, roll the shoulders back and down, lifting the heart towards the sky. As you breathe out, hinge forward from your hips. Feel free to bend the knees if that allows more ease in lengthening the spine. Plant the fingertips on the earth. Inhale, step the left knee behind you to a kneeling lunge. Look up. Hold your breath as you step to plank pose. Exhale, lower your knees, then your chest, then your chin. Inhale, slide forward. Gently coil your chest open in cobra pose. Exhale, press back, lifting the hips to downward facing dog. Inhale, step the left foot beside your left thumb. Lower your right knee, gaze up. Exhale, step the right foot forward and bow. Pressing through the feet, inhale, rise. Rolling the shoulders back and down. Exhale, join your palms at your heart center, side 2. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead in Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, bow forward in Uttanasana. Lower your fingertips. This time, step the right knee back as you breathe in. Kneeling lunge, look up. Hold your breath as you step to plank. Exhale, lower knees, chest, then chin in Ashtangasana. Inhale, slither forward and gently roll the shoulders back in Bhujangasana, cobra pose. Exhale, lift the hips back to Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward dog. Inhale, step the right foot beside the right thumb. Lower your left knee, look up. Exhale, step the left foot forward and bow. Root down to your feet. Inhale, rise, lifting your heart towards the sun. With gratitude, join your hands in prayer at the heart. Moving on to sun salutation A. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, bow forward. This time, press your fingertips onto your shins, block to the floor, and inhale, lengthen your spine forward, half forward fold. Carefully step to plank pose with legs straight or knees on the ground. And this time, exhale as you glide forward and graze your elbows by your ribs, lowering halfway to Chaturanga Dandasana. Then inhale to Cobra or Upward Facing Dog, coiling the chest up. Exhale into Downward Facing Dog. Let's add a few extra breaths here so that you can take the time to move your body any way it may want to loosen. Maybe pedaling the feet, swiveling the hips, shaking and nodding the head. Tune in to your breathing. Spread the fingers flat. Draw the hips high and back. Empty the next breath. Then walk or lightly jump to the front of your mat, forward fold. Pressing with your hands, inhale, half forward fold, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale again, fold Uttanasana. Pressing through the feet, inhale, root down to rise into Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, marry your palms at your heart center. Let's flow through that this time around. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen forward, Ardha Uttanasana. Either step to plank or lightly jump to Chaturanga if that is part of your practice. Continue into your Vinyasa Cobra or Upward Dog. And this time in Downward Dog, let your body be still as you rest your eyes on one spot for 2 deep breaths. When you've emptied the second breath, walk or float to the front of your mat, Uttanasana. Then inhale to Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Rooting down, inhale, rise, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Padasana, hands in prayer. Let's move on to the next sun salutation, Surya Namaskar B. Bring the inner edges of your big toes to touch to prepare for chair pose. And then empty this breath. On your next inhale, bend your knees together to touch. Lean back towards your heels as you sit low, raising your arms in Utkatasana, chair pose. As you exhale, shift your weight forward and hinge from your hips, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen forward, Ardha Uttanasana. Step or float to Chaturanga. Take it through your Vinyasa at your own pace of breath. And now, make sure you're taking care of your body and listening to it. If you need to vary how you practice postures, please do. Inhale, raise your right leg behind you. Exhale quietly as you can. Step the foot beside your right thumb and spin the left heel down. Inhale, rise up to Warrior One. Then ride the exhalation all the way down to Chaturanga, finishing your Vinyasa, Cobra or Upward. Back to Downward. Side 2, inhale, raise your left leg back. Exhale the foot beside your left thumb, spin the right heel down. Inhale, rise to Virabhadrasana 1. Ride your exhalation all the way down into your version of your Vinyasa. Once again, Downward Dog. Pause for a few cycles of breath, slowing down your breathing. So what does Saucha look like in your physical yoga practice? Sometimes we can come to the practice with lots of thoughts, lots of to-do lists looping in our minds. Can you let that go and allow yourself to simplify your attention onto the sound waves of the breath? Sort of decluttering your mind by simplifying your focus. After you've emptied the next breath, walk or lightly jump to the front of your mat, forward fold. Let your feet touch. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees together. Inhale, sit low in chair pose. Exhale to rise. One last time, Surya Namaskar B. Inhale, chair, Utkatasana. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. Take it through your Vinyasa. Without rushing, honoring the pace of your breath, when you arrive at downward facing dog, inhale, raise your right leg back. Exhale the foot beside your right thumb, spin the left heel down. Inhale, warrior one. Ride your exhalation all the way down to finish your vinyasa. When you get there, downward dog, inhale, raise the left leg back. Exhale the foot beside left thumb, lower the right heel. Inhale, rise to Virabhadrasana 1. Ride your exhalation all the way down to finish your vinyasa. Downward facing dog. Pause. Let your eyes gently rest on one point. Allow your body to let go of any fidgeting, sort of a way to declutter as well. And let your mind rest on the sound of the breath as you slow the breath down and balance it. Simplify your focus. When your breath feels steady, calm, and balanced, empty it before you walk or lightly jump to the top of your mat. Then inhale, half forward fold, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, Padasana, hands in prayer in mountain pose. Let's step the feet apart, hips distance, parallel to each other, and bring the hands behind you to clasp, opening up the fronts of the shoulders. Breathe in, roll the shoulders back. Breathe out, hinge from your hips, dropping your head as you fold. Feel free to bend your knees if your back tends to round so that you're not rounding. Stretching the arms away from the lower back. If you're able to hug the heels of your palms together, try that. Bend your elbows slightly to lift the shoulder bones while dropping the skull. Relax the neck. Maybe even shake out the head a few times. If you need to unclench the jaw, you might flutter the lips or take a big sigh as you stretch your mouth wide. What does your energy feel like at this point of your practice? As the hands fall, slip your palms face up underneath the soles of your feet, bending the knees if that allows you to reach a little deeper. Invite your toes to meet the inner creases of the wrists, stretching the outer wrists. Keep the hands under and inhale, lift your chest through the gates of your arms. Keep shifting your weight forward and then drop the head and fold in. Lifting the shoulders, drop the skull. Couple more slow breaths. Padahastasana. Now, depending on what your energy level is at this point, choose how you can help balance that. Take another vinyasa, or come onto hands and knees and flow through cat-cow pose, or step directly to downward facing dog. In downward facing dog, inhale, raise your right leg behind you. Exhale, touch your knee outside your right upper arm as high as you can towards the shoulder in plank. Softly step the foot beside right thumb. Stay high in the ball of the left foot. Inhale, rise to crescent lunge, just passing through. Exhale to your left, open up to warrior two. As you align your right heel to intersect the arch of your left foot, bend the front knee just over the ankle and firm the outside edge of the left foot into the earth. Rotate your right outer hip beneath you enough so your right thigh is splaying open, tracing the midline of your mat. Let the shoulders relax as you steady your gaze softly on the space just in front of your right fingertips. Last 2 breaths in Virabhadrasana 2. Now keep the bend in your right knee as we prepare for extended side angle pose. Glide your hips sideways towards the rear edge of your mat as you lengthen your torso towards your front wall. Either place the right forearm on the right thigh, raising the left arm, or lower the right fingertips on the inner side of your right leg on a block or the floor. Make sure you're not compressing the right underside of your torso here. Tack the crease of the right hip towards the left heel and lengthen the crown forward. Now, the left shoulder socket, rotate your left tricep or outer upper arm to face your left wall. Then extend that arm overhead as you send both shoulder blades down your back. Sealing in the front ribs, spin your chest slightly to face the sky, landing your gaze on one point in Utthita Parsvakonasana. Now, if your right hand is down on a block or the floor, feel how you're pressing your upper arm against the inner side of your right thigh. Keep the right leg still and solid and use that point of contact to support your balance as you rotate the right outer hip under you and to add leverage while you're turning the chest slightly to face the sky. Last couple of breaths here. Now gaze at the ground just ahead of your right toes, preparing for half moon pose. Walk your right fingertips about 6 inches ahead of your right pinky toe and out to the right corner. Drag your left foot forward and flex it off the earth, opening your chest towards your left wall. Ardha Chandrasana. Now you could add another extension or lateral extension with the left arm overhead like we just did. You could also play with your balance a little further and try extending both arms overhead, as if you're hugging the wide width of a block between your palms. Take your variation of this pose for about 3 more breaths. On a slow exhalation, step the left foot back and sweep the right arm overhead towards the rear wall, side bending as you breathe in to Peaceful Warrior. Exhale your hands to the floor, plank pose, maybe flow through a vinyasa. Let's meet in downward facing dog. Slow breath in, clear it out. Simplify your focus on the sound of the breath. Inhale, raise your left leg back. Exhale, touch the knee outside left upper arm towards the shoulder and softly step the foot beside left thumb. Stay on the ball of the right foot. Inhale, rise, crescent lunge. Exhale to your right, warrior two. So align your left heel to intersect the arch of your right foot. Bend your left knee directly above the heel as you firm outer edge of the right foot into the ground. Rotate your left outer hip beneath you as you press the top of your right thigh bone back. Steadying your gaze. Let's listen to 2 last breaths here. Preparing for extended side angle pose, keep the bend in your left knee and glide your hips sideways towards the rear edge of your mat while lengthening your torso towards your front wall. Either place the left forearm on the left thigh, right arm up, or bring the left hand to the inner side of the left leg on a block of the floor. Make sure you're not compressing your lower back here. If it feels like you're impinging on it, come up a little higher. You can always come back to forearm on thigh. Now from the right shoulder, spin your right tricep to face the right wall. Then extend that arm overhead and draw both shoulders down the back. How's your breathing? Pressing left arm against inner left thigh. Keep the left leg solidly still while you spin your chest slightly to face the sky. Steadying your eyes softly in Utthita Parshvakonasana. Gaze at the ground just ahead of your left toes. Walk the left fingertips upper left corner of your left foot. Half moon pose. Drag the right foot forward. Flex it off the ground. And can you remember what variation of this pose you practiced on the first side? Maybe try to explore it here. Taking your time. Connecting to your breath. One more deep breath in Ardha Chandrasana. With a slow exhalation, step the right foot all the way to the rear of the mat. Then inhale to Peaceful Warrior, sweeping the left arm towards the rear wall. Exhale your hands to the earth, continue to flow, take rest. What do you need right now to promote balanced energy? Downward dog. Let's clean house by taking a deep cleansing, sound-filled exhalation with the mouth wide, lion's breath. So breathe in, fully, expand. Stick out the tongue, open the mouth wide. Any sound, let it go. Now, inhale, raise the right leg back. Close the lips as you breathe. Exhale, cross the knee towards left outer upper arm, twisting in plank. Step the foot beside right thumb, lower the left knee, and inhale the arms up, kneeling lunge. Now make sure you have a short enough stance here where the left hip is directly above the left knee. And this is where you might find it helpful to use a blanket as cushion wide across the middle of your mat. So you can leave it there for the second side as well, like this, if you need it. And then the right knee is directly above the right ankle. The legs are hips width apart. Imagine as if you're dragging the feet towards each other without visibly moving them, so you create stability here in the hips. Raising your arms, let's add a lateral extension. Use your right hand, hold your left wrist, press down with the legs and pelvis, lift up to the spine, breathing in, then exhale, start to side bend to your right. Few breaths. Now feel your right foot. Can you keep it solidly still where your right leg is hugging the midline of your body? Use that to support your balance here. Inhale, rise to center. Use the right hand to cup the top of your right thigh. Next, inhale, lengthen the spine forward. Now keep the legs still and exhale, rotate your rib cage to the right, either lowering the left fingertips on a block or the floor, on the inner side of your right ankle, right arm up, or hooking the left elbow outside of your right thigh, joining the hands in prayer, opening the arms, or binding. And in any of these variations, you could choose to lift the back knee so that you are in a twisting high lunge. Whatever your version, How is your breathing? What is your mind focusing on? Tend to your inner state. As you breathe in, continue to lengthen your spine forward. As you breathe out, keeping the hips leveled, continue to rotate your rib cage. Last 3 breaths in this version of Parita Parsvakonasana, twisting side angle pose. Look down at your right ankle and lower your fingertips on blocks of the floor to frame it. Sit the left knee down for half split. Lift the ball of your right foot flexed. Begin to straighten the right leg by plugging the thigh bone back deeper into the hip socket while you reach your chest forward. Bowing just to the extent that you can keep a little lift in your chest with the shoulders relaxed away from the neck. Half split. Ardha Hanumanasana. Start to rebend the right knee. Step the right foot to the right and place both hands on the inner side of the right foot for lizard lunge. Now, if it feels appropriate in your body, I invite you to take the version of this pose in which your back knee is lifted, so you're in a high lunge. You could decide to place your hands on blocks or maybe lower down to your forearms. Let your right knee gently hug your right outer shoulder. As you tack the outer right hip back, lengthen your chest and crown forward. A few more deep breaths here. Set your back knee to the floor again and come on up to the kneeling lunge, walking the right foot to the center line of the mat so that your right knee and your right heel and left knee are on a tightrope. Now lift the left knee lightly so that you can cross the left shin to the right edge of your mat until it's perpendicular to the mat. Then press to the right foot and windmill your arms apart, arriving in a kneeling version of Warrior Two. So if you need to adjust the cushion under the left knee, go ahead and do that. Now remember in Warrior Two, you're wrapping the right outer hip under you, firming the top of the left thigh bone back. So feel that for a moment here. Keep the right knee bending just above the right heel, and let's take a kneeling version of extended side angle pose. Glide the pelvis sideways towards the rear edge of your mat. Lengthen your torso towards your front wall. Choose to either press the right forearm against the right thigh and raise the left arm, or place the right fingertips on the ground or a block. Now let's extend the left arm overhead, spinning the tricep towards the left wall and the ground. So remember this from earlier, we're just kneeling down. This is a preparation for a potential arm balance, if you want to play with it. It's a kneeling variation of Vishvamitrasana. So to get there, lift the ball of your right foot flexed. Plant the right palm flat on the floor or on the lowest height of a block. Use the right inner thigh to press the right arm against while the thigh firms back. Extending through the side body, see if you can reach hold of your outer right foot flexed with the left hand. If so, bend the right knee, press the right arm against the inner thigh, and kick the foot into your left hand while you pull the foot towards you, lifting the leg as you rotate your chest slightly to face the sky. Kneeling version of Vishvamitrasana. Now, the full version of Vishvamitrasana starts at side angle pose. The left foot is on the floor. Then you can come into the same action of pulling the right foot off the ground as you balance on right hand and left foot. Whatever you're practicing, last couple breaths. Come back to your kneeling version of Warrior Two. And then take a kneeling version of Peaceful Warrior. Inhale as you sweep the right arm overhead towards the rear wall. Exhale the hands to the floor, step back to downward facing duck. Pausing there, tune in to your breathing. Simplify your focus. Inhale, raise your left leg behind you. Exhale, cross the knee towards your right outer armpit, twisting. Step the left foot beside your left thumb and lower your right knee. Inhale the arms up, kneeling lunge. Now, you know what's coming next, but can you allow yourself to just be where the breath is right now? Not anticipating, not complicating, but simplifying your focus. Use the left hand to hold the right wrist. Inhale, lift the spine as you press down with the legs. Exhale, begin to side bend to your left for several breaths, little by little. Feel the left leg solidly still supporting your balance. Inhale, rise back to center. Cup the top of the left thigh with your left hand. Inhale, lengthen the spine forward. Exhale, begin to twist to the left in the same version of the pose. You approach the first side. Twisting, side angle pose. Let your eyes rest on one point as you regulate your energy by balancing your breathing. One more deep breath. Parita Parshvakonasana. Look down at your left ankle and lower your hands to frame it, blocks or the floor. Set the right knee down for half split. Lift the ball of your left foot flexed and begin to straighten the left leg by plugging the thigh bone back into the hip socket, while in contrast, you reach your chest forward and bow, little by little. Ardha Hanumanasana. Begin to bend the left knee again. Step the left foot to the left and bring both hands to the inner side of the foot for lizard lunge. If your body's okay with it, I invite you to lift the ball the right, or come onto the ball the right foot, so the back knee's lifted. You can place your hands on blocks, the floor, or lower your forearms to the ground. Notice how your body is responding to how you're practicing this pose. Really listen to it. Let your left knee gently hug your left outer shoulder as you tack your left outer hip back. Draw your chest and crown forward. About 3 last breaths. Come back to kneeling lunge, right knee to the floor. Walk your left foot to the right until your left heel is in the same line as your right knee, like you're on a tightrope. Gently lift the right knee so that you can cross the right shin over to the left edge of the mat until it's perpendicular to the mat. Then windmill the arms to rise into a kneeling warrior two. Left knee right on top of left heel. Just take a moment here to feel that you're rotating the left outer hip beneath you to splay the left thigh open, tracing the midline of the mat, while the top of the right thigh firms back, drawing the navel. Let's come into a kneeling version of extended side angle pose. Glide your pelvis sideways towards the rear edge of the mat and lengthen your torso towards the front wall. Either press the left forearm on the left thigh as you raise the right arm, or lower the left fingertips on a block or the floor on the inner side of the left leg, pressing arm and leg against each other while you spin your chest towards the sky. Let's rotate the right tricep to face the right wall and extend the right arm overhead, shoulders down the back. Opt to stay here, or let this be a preparation for possibly entering a kneeling version of Vishvamitrasana, an arm balance. If you're going towards Vishva, connect with your breath as you transition mindfully. Lift the ball of your left foot flexed. Draw the left thigh bone back into the hip socket while you side bend further, straightening the leg. See if your right hand can reach hold of your outer left foot. If so, bend the left knee again and press the left upper arm against the inner left thigh. Kick the foot into the right hand as you pull the foot towards you, lifting the leg off the floor. Spin your chest slightly to face the sky. How's your breath? If you want to try from extended side angle pose, the full version of Vishvamitrasana, spin the back heel to the floor. Once again, catch the outer left foot with the right hand. Press through the left hand and the right foot. Spin the chest towards the sky. Last few breaths. Take your time coming back to your kneeling version of Warrior Two. Once there, settle in, flip the left palm to face up, and inhale to Peaceful Warrior here. Exhale your hands to the floor, step back into plank pose, top of a push-up. Take your time to slowly lower through Chaturanga Dandasana until you're all the way on the ground, lying face down for our final back bends. So rest your forehead on the ground, slide your knees as close together as you comfortably can, and point your toes back. If your lower back needs additional support, keep pressing the tops of your feet into the floor, the whole pose. Reach the hands behind you to clasp. If you can, hug the heels of the palms together. As you breathe in, coil your chest up. Look slightly down so as not to strain your neck, and reach the knuckles of your hands towards your heels. If your lower back does not need that additional support, lift your legs straight. Keep your feet parallel to each other and lengthen the tailbone towards your inner knees. While you broaden your chest, soften the shoulders down the back. Bound locust pose, Baddha Shalabhasana. Last 3 or 4 deep breaths. When you're ready, let your body completely rest. 2 to 3 breaths. Just observe. Now decide if you'd like to practice the same posture again. This is our second to last back bend. Or add a little more fire and practice bow Dhanurasana. If you're practicing bow, slide the knees close together and bend them. Reach back with both hands to hold your ankles or feet. Press your pubic bone into the ground and kick your feet away from you as you pull them towards you, lifting the knees high. Draw the shoulders back and down, and then lengthen the back of your neck. To support your lower back, try not to splay your knees wider apart than hips distance. Count 5 to 7 breaths before you let go to rest. Let's prepare for our final back bend, Shalabhasana, full locust pose. Rest your forehead on the ground and slide your knees close together, pointing your toes back with parallel feet. Remember, if you've got lower back instability, keep the tops of the feet pressing the floor. Place the arms down by your sides with the palms face down. On the next inhale, lift every part of your body you can. Feet lift only if the lower back is okay with it, for 5 to 10 breaths. Arms can be back by your sides, or you can open the arms apart And by rotating the fronts of your shoulders back, start to turn the palms to face forward. Or adding more rigor, you could extend the arms overhead so that the palms face each other and the upper arms are alongside your ears as you're looking slightly down, while you plug the shoulders into their sockets, broadening your chest. When you're done, let your entire body rest. Observe what you're feeling. Slow down your breathing. Maybe let out a few sighs to release any extra heat as we begin to cool down. Plant your hands alongside your floating ribs and gently press up to tabletop. Let's take our spinal twist from here into thread the needle. Pressing the left hand into the earth. Inhale, raise your right arm towards the sky. Exhale, thread the right arm under your left, bend to elbow, and lower the right side of your head all the way down. Now, if your head does not comfortably meet the ground, you've got props around you that you can use as a pillow. Use them. Keep your pelvis still as you rotate the rib cage, letting the shoulders soften away from the neck. And invite more of the yin energy of allowing rather than doing. So less push, less force, more relaxing deeper into the pose, just surrendering. You can accentuate that energy by lengthening the out breath slightly longer than the in breaths. Take your time, slowly rising back to tabletop. Press your right hand into the earth. Inhale, raise your left arm. Exhale, thread it underneath your right, bend to elbow, and lower the left side of your head all the way down. Use a prop if you need. Feel the energy of letting go as you breathe out longer. Slowly press back into child's pose, feet together, knees together or apart, anywhere you want to rest your arms. Then gently roll yourself up to sit, bringing the legs both in front of you. Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose. Bring the soles of your feet together, splay the knees apart, and bring the heels as close to your groins as you comfortably can. Sit tall. Breathe in here as you relax the shoulders and lift the heart. Breathe out as you start to hinge from your hips for a few breaths. Press down to your pelvis and inhale, slowly rise up. Stretch both legs forward for Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold. Root your sitting bones, flex your feet, sit tall as you breathe in, and start to hinge from your hips as you breathe out. Remember not to round the back or shoulders here, adding unnecessary tension. Let the breath flow easily. Declutter. Let energy flow. Press down through the hips, lead with your chest, inhale to slowly rise. And start to make your way down onto your back. Find a comfortable position to completely rest your body in stillness for a few minutes of Shavasana. Before letting go of controlling the breath, we're going to practice one more brief pranayama. So get situated in corpse pose first. Let your feet splay apart, wider than hips distance. Let the shoulders rest down the back, turning the palms up by your sides. Close your eyes and let the body be still. Now imagine just breathing into the lowest part of your torso, just about 3 counts. Breathe into the lower belly, lower back. Hold the breath, relax the body. Now breathe into the middle of your torso, side ribs, mid-back. Hold the breath. Breathe into the top of the torso, your chest, your upper back, neck and shoulders. Hold the breath, relax the shoulders. And then through your mouth, very slowly empty the breath for about 9 counts. Hold the breath at empty. Again, inhale to the lowest part of your torso. Pause. Inhale into the middle part of your torso. Pause. Inhale into the top of your torso. As you hold the breath, completely relax. And then through your lips, very slowly empty the breath. Last time, Durga Pranayama. Inhale, lowest part of the torso. Pause. Inhale, middle torso. Pause. Inhale, the top. Hold the breath. Very slowly through the mouth, let it go. As you exhale, let the bones in your body become heavier just by allowing, not by forcing or pushing. Let the belly be completely soft. And then let go of controlling your breath. Letting go of any doing, allow yourself to just be. Let your body rest a little longer. But notice how your body feels now. Be gentle with yourself. Begin with very small, slow movements, like turning your head gently, wiggling your fingers, letting one movement inspire another. Graduate into simple stretches. As you keep your eyes closed, allow yourself to continue tuning inward. When you feel ready, slowly turn over onto your right side and rest your head there. Allow a few moments to observe your breathing. What do you sense about your energy now? Notice the effects of your yoga practice. Then take your time pressing the ground, lifting your body up. Find a comfortable way to sit tall, grounded, open, and relaxed. Sitting for 5 minutes in meditation. You might close the eyes. You might rest right palm over left on the center of the lap with thumb tips touching. Let your awareness very gently rest on the feeling of your natural breath coming in and moving out. Resting your attention in the present moment on the breath. Notice how your mind and heart feel now. I invite you to take another moment of gratitude, just reflecting on something that you appreciate right now. And then come back to your intention, saying it again to yourself, what brought you to your practice today. Also remember to whom you dedicated today's practice. Together, let's close like we began, chanting Om 3 times. Breathing in. And bowing in, honoring the light within. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste.